Hello, Stephanie and everyone. Stephanie, you said that you wanted to know a little bit more about Yaya Maria, about her character, about her in general. Well, I wish I knew a lot more about her character. You know, she was the generation that she never complained. She never uh, expressed her feelings. We didn't know we knew when she was mad. We knew when she was unhappy. Uh, and most of the time, she was unhappy if we were not good. Uh, anyway, she was born in 1912, and she was telling us there was Turks still there in Limnos. They didn't leave until 1922, and she was playing with the Turkish uh, boys and girls in the neighborhood. She was married when she was 24 years old. And I have a picture of the wedding, and I want to try to show it to you. Let's see if it'll come out. There she is. There she is. She was a petite girl. Look at her neck. She was 24 years old. Her wedding gown and everything about the wedding she made herself. Her flowers, the bouquet, all that, she'd made it herself. At 24, she was a seamstress. She taught herself how to sew, and she was doing all the wedding gowns of the village and around other villages. She was making dresses. She was designing, cut, and sewing by herself. Then she had students. She was teaching a couple girls how to sew. Let's see, what else? Let me show you her shoes, if you can see the shoes. See them? White shoes. I don't know if she made them herself. Don't know. Don't know. Well, she was married in 1936, and she had the third child, Teatula, in 1937. I have some other pictures to show you. I don't know if you've seen them. This one probably you have seen. This is the whole family, and this is a picture of our passport. We had a family passport when we came here in 1956. So at that time I was 18, Tula was 19, and your father was 14 years old. Let's see, I have one more here, a couple more. This one here, see us? See us how happy we are? Especially your father. He's Yaya. I don't know when was taken. We probably about maybe 7 years old, something like that. And one more. Here's another one. This one we are happier. You see, your father is smiling, an unusual thing for him. Now those clothes are all made by her. She was making all our clothes. She was a very healthy woman. I don't think she ever went to a hospital for any major things. I know that she didn't like eggs. When we were in the Limnos, when we were growing up, she would not eat eggs. Don't know why. I don't know, maybe she got sick one time. But when we came here, she started in America, they started eating eggs. Don't know why. Anyway, her family, the maiden name, last name was Braimus. And that comes from a Turkish word, Ibrahim, which means Adam. But about her father, Papu Lefteri, I don't know much about him when he was born and when he passed away. He was sick when he passed away We asked one time what was wrong with him. Don't talk about it. They don't want to talk about it because if you talk about it, it's going to happen again. That's the mentality that they had. From her mother's side, family was Mavromatis, which means dark eyes. You can see some of that in our family. You know, Tula and I are a little bit blondish, our mother, like our mother. And her family, the Braimos, she had, not the Braimos is the only name that we had in Limnos. Nobody else had that name that we knew of. Mavromatis is a very common name, and it was a name in Atsiki and still there. She had what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sisters and a brother. The first one, Iphigenia, she came to the States, I don't know, 1920s, something like that. She was the happiest of the family. Nothing bothered her. Nothing bothered her. She lived to be 105 years old. Next, he goes Chrysanthi. Now, Chrysanthi, she never went to school, so she didn't know how to write. She came here in the 1960s, something like that, 62, 63, for about 6 months in order to bring her son over here too. And her signature was an X. Next was Giagya Mària, 1912. And after that was Thea Eleni. Now, Thea Eleni was the, you couldn't do anything wrong, she will tell you. She had a very sharp tongue. She was not afraid to tell you what she thought, and she didn't care. We would get a lot of spanking from her when we were growing up. We got more spanking from her than our mother. And of course, if we complain that Thea hit us, we get more. So you don't complain. Then came Haralabos, the boy of the family. He was the shoemaker of the village. And after him came Ariro, Thea Ariro. This longevity in the female side of the family, as I said, Iphigenia passed away 105 years old. Chrysanthi, I think she was 84, 85 when she passed away. From what, I don't know. Then Eleni, I think she passed away when she was 87. Somebody said that she had a heart problem and she passed away, but it was old age. Giagya Mària passed 93. She was all healthy all her life except the last few years when she had the Parkinson's. Theo Haralabo passed away when he was 74 years old, and he had cancer of the limbs, and he didn't make it. Thea Ariro, she lived to 96. There was nothing wrong with her either, and she didn't lose her mind. She was very sharp all the way at the end. Anyway, that's the life, and that side of the family done. Iphigenia had one son, and he still lives. He's here in the States, in Florida, in Jacksonville, someplace up there. Then Chrysanthi had 4 kids. They all lived. Harista is the first one. And Harista is named after her grandmother, Haristula. Harista, then is Spiros, I think, then Filica, Phyllis, and Eleftheria. Let's see. Of course, Giaglia Maria had 3 of us. Then Haralabos, he married here in the States. He brought a girl from another village, from Limnos, Varos, and he had 2 kids in Baltimore, Maryland. They still live over there. First name, the boy was Lefteris, and the girl's Malama. She's married to a priest. Anyway, Thea Giro came here to the States and she married here. She was married to Theo Costa. He was from Cyprus. They didn't have any children. Anyway, that's that side. Let's see, what else can I tell you about her? That's about all I know for now. Well, maybe we'll find some more stuff to tell you about Giaglia Maria. Oh, I wanted to tell you something else. The 5 girls, they have their specialty about making Greek cookies. Tia Figenia, she was making samsades, something made with phyllo and sesame, and honey. Tia Chrysanthi, she was making some breads. Giaglia Maria had a koulourakia. She was making koulourakia. Tia Eleni was making, I think she was making the baklava. And Giaglia was making the kourabiedes. That was their specialty. Another thing I want to tell you about Giaglia Maria, for her, the word "I can't do it" for us did not exist. We couldn't say I couldn't do it. She thought, she'd tell us, there is no such thing as you guys, you can't do it. You don't want to do it, maybe that exists, which is not good, but I can't do it should not exist. I think she liked the cigarette smoke. She didn't smoke. My father didn't smoke. Nobody in our family, all these relatives that I talked about, and the kids don't smoke. But if we had company, like my father's friends would come over in celebrations, for example, the 10th of February, when it was Agio Haralambu, they all came to say hello and wishes happy birthday, happy name day to our father. They would smoke. She would ask him to smoke in the house because she liked the smoke. Go figure. She also liked jewelry. She was a bargainer. She wanted to bargain all the time. We had a place, Fallick, the name was of the store, A. Fallick, in Canal Street in New York. And when she go down there to go for jewelry or go look, anyway, everything she liked for herself or some other people, kids, whatever, she would bargain. Of course, at the end, the people knew, so they would raise the price and then give her a bargain. She was very happy that she got it in a bargain. Yeah. Over here, she was, of course, practiced as seamstress. She was working in the fur business in that's famous building in New York, 7th Avenue, 773 or 777, something like that. And her job was to put the lining in the fur coats that they were making, and of course they call it the finishes. They put the buttons, the buttonholes, all that stuff. Anyway, she worked there until she was until my father died, 63, something like that. Yeah, we miss her. Oh, she didn't go to school. She went to school, I think, up to third grade, which was the time, at that time, when the kids got to 10 years old, they should have to go out in the fields and work. And she was doing that, working out the fields and also coming home and doing all the work. It was very, very tough life for them at that time. She knew how to write a little bit. She used to send us notes when we were in high school in Mirina. She liked to try to read. I tell you a little story. She wanted to learn English. So when we first came over here, we were all trying to learn English and going to night schools and things like that. So she started going to night school. And one time they were teaching it how to say who, how, what, that thing. So she came home at night and she tried to practice. She was asking us, what is this? Your father and I were watching television. We get mad when she asked us, what does it mean? What's this mean? What's that meaning? So one day she came over and she said, it's too tough. I said, what's too tough? Well, they tried to teach us which, and she couldn't say it. So she says, I give up. So that was her schooling in English. Anyway, all right. Nice talking to you guys. Bye-bye.